What's up, everyone? It's Chachi Power here with Rocket Punch Army to do a review of the Soul of Chogokin GX-52 Getter 1 from Shin Getter Robot The Last Day. You'll see I already have the figure out because I'm just trying to save some time here. Don't have a lot of time for reviews this week. But yeah, so he's out of the box, but we will show you the box regardless. Here's the front of the box, nice glossy typical Bandai box. You get the robot here, very nice photograph, very nice pose. Little picture of him back here in the background with the light up eyes, although this doesn't really light up. Another picture of him on the side there. The other panel, pretty much the same as the front. And the back here is actually pretty cool. It shows him off with the two large guns there, which have the firing effect going on. Right here shows you the Getter Wing feature. Also the Getter Tomahawk, Getter Beam, and Getter Machine Gun again. Everything else is Japanese, can't read it. So we're going to go ahead and open it, just so you guys see how everything's laid out. It's pretty typical for Soul of Chogokin releases. You got the styrofoam bed where the robot would be in. Here you got the machine guns. Then you have the tray. If you watch the GX-51 review, it's pretty much the same damn thing. Same trays with the wing here. Although the head already comes attached to the robot, so you don't have to attach any heads, but here you got all the alternate hands. You also got the stand right in there. And yeah, so let's get started with the review. So the figure is typical Soul of Chogokin size. For those of you that don't collect these figures, and maybe a Transformer fan, here he is next to the MP10. So it's a pretty tall figure. Not the biggest of the Chogokin line, but pretty much average amongst all of them. And also loaded with tons of diecast. We're going to check that out first. You usually save it towards the end. But let's go ahead and check out the amount of diecast this guy has. So you'll see it's a lot. And the guy has a very, very nice, hefty feel. You'll see it's kind of like one of those chubby robots with the thick legs. I kind of like that look. I don't like the Aoshima ones too much. I was never really into buying those. But as soon as this one came out, I wanted it. But it took me a while to get it. But it's here now. So we'll take a look at it all the way around. You'll see it's got the wing already attached, the little tears at the bottom, which is nice. The wing is not flexible at all. I mean, it's just, you know, the slight flex you would get from regular plastic, but it's not meant to flow around or anything. And overall, just the paint apps, everything is what you would expect from a very high-end Soul of Chogokin figure. Alright, so the next thing we're going to check out is the articulation. So you have the head here, which moves on its own, separate from the neck, but the neck also moves if you need it to. Alright, so he does have a good range of motion in the head. You have these shoulders that come out. You also have the ratchets going forward. You have the bicep swivel. You get the elbow here, which goes in about 90 degrees, which is nice. You have the waist, and I knew that was going to happen. The cape pops off when you try and fiddle with it too much. So you got the waist, and you have the ball jointed hips here. The legs are pretty limited, but like a lot of other Chogokins, you can pull it down to give you a nice bigger range of motion there. And just like the GX-51, this has these little gaps here, but then it's got these little panels that fold in to make way for much further articulation. I'll get up close here so you can see how that works. You'll see once I start separating the leg, that panel pops right back in. So that's a cool feature, and you've probably heard the amount of ratchets this has. They sound really nice. Another feature here is the ankles here, which again pop out for more articulation, and then obviously the foot moves on that ball joint. And those ball joints you see are die-cast metal also, so that's a very high quality figure here. You also get the wrists here. The hands are on a ball joint. And another feature I almost forgot to show you is the top of the body here moves up and down. Now I did want to get up close just so you can see the way the paint apps are applied and the face sculpt and everything. You get the little spikes on the side of the head to have the little ridges right at the base, which is really cool. Get these little gold details on his shoulders there. And look at how glossy that paint is, how well applied it is. There's no dust particles. It's completely polished. Turn it around, you get to see all the screws here. And if we look right underneath there, you'll see the spot for the wing. So you get this little tab here. You have to just shove it in there. It's kind of hard to see, but once you get it in, it'll stay. Unless you start fiddling it too much, then it'll probably pop out. It's not really a snap-in fit. Next thing I want to do is show you the hands, which just like the GX-51, they're kind of gummy coming out of the plastic bag. Let's see if we can do that. The same thing. Look at that. It almost looks like he's grabbing onto my finger, but it's really just the stickiness. I hope that's just mold release and not all the plasticizer coming out of there or whatever keeps this pliable. Then we also got the Tomahawk holding hands, and we also have the machine gun holding hands. And speaking of Tomahawk and machine guns, that's exactly what we're going to take a look at right now. And this is what he looks like with the machine guns. You'll see they're really huge. They're kind of ridiculous. And then you do have these handles up here that move, so you can actually have him holding it one hand and then the other hand holding this handle here. And yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. It takes up a lot of display area, so not really something I want to display it with, but it's pretty cool that the weapons do come with the set. And here he is with the Tomahawks. Obviously for the machine gun and the Tomahawks, you do have to replace the hands. You'll see here, these are the standard fists. You do have to replace them. They pop on rather easily. However, I don't know, you know, I mentioned it a lot in my reviews that the room is cold and things tend to like fall apart. But the GX-51 and this one, the GX-52, the fingers seem to slide out when I'm trying to put the weapons on. They just tap right back in. There's nothing broken. I mean, this is really high quality plastic, but it's just a bit of a pain in the butt. It's obviously meant to be glued. It looks like there's some glue residue in there, but it's the second time it happened. But if it does happen, it's not necessarily a defect, or, you know, it's not broken. It simply slides right back in, as you'll see. But it is a pain in the butt. I can't necessarily blame it on the manufacturing because it is really cold in here and maybe everything's a little more fragile than normal. So the last thing that I want to show you is the stand here, the Getter 1 stand. It's got a nice little chrome plate there. And you'll see there's a bunch of little tabs and holes and everything. And this is obviously recessed for the feet here. So if you want to display them, just go ahead, put his feet right in here. There's nothing supporting his back like the GX-51. Now if we turn around to the back, without even looking at the instructions, I'm assuming this is for the guns here. You'll see the fists are still attached. I don't really care. And you can put that like that. And then all these other bits here for all the other accessories if you want to use them. The nubs right there. The little nipples sticking out of the ground are probably to put the fists on. So you get the idea of what's going on with that. And before we close, I almost forgot a little accessory here. He's got the little beam thing that comes out of his stomach, I guess. It's in between his chest and his stomach. But it's this little piece here. And you'll notice he's got a little circle there. So what you want to do is just go ahead and pop that in. And there you go. You got the Getter beam. So with that being said, guys, now it is really the end of the review. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you want to pick one of these up, you know, search around. They can be had for less than $100 shipped. It's just a matter of looking, depending on when you're looking, because if you're looking 10 years from now, they're probably worth a lot more. But yeah, that's it, guys. If you have any questions or comments, again, leave them below. Until next time, bye-bye.